Ooh, what's good, Commanders fans? Just want to come at you guys with a quick video, just talking about the injury report, updates on Jayden Daniels, updates on Brandon Coleman and Clelin Ferrell as well, and just some quotes from Cliff Kingsbury and Joe Witt Jr.'s presser from today. Excuse me. Looking at the Bears side a little bit too, they're not very banged up. They're pretty healthy for the most part. From the guys that they've had since week one, they are pretty healthy. So Jaquan Brisker, he missed the last 2 days of practice with a concussion. So that's something to monitor. I do want the Bears to be full strength because, Bears fans, they've been talking so much trash. I don't want them to have any excuses for when we do beat them. I want them to be full strength. But Jaquan Brisker is a darn good back, defensive back. He really is very talented. And just keep an eye on him. Just keep an eye on him, whether he's going to be out or not. He did not participate 2 days in a row. Jalen Johnson did not participate in practice 2 days in a row, but he's going to play with a hamstring injury. But Jaquan Brisker with that concussion, we'll see what happens with him. But like I said, I want to see the Bears full strength so we can beat them full strength. But all right, let's get to our guys here. Brandon Coleman did not participate in practice 2 days in a row with a concussion. So it's not looking too great for Brandon Coleman to play on Sunday. But like I said before, we have Cornelius Lucas, who's had a darn good season. Our whole offensive line has had a darn good season. So we'll see what happens on Friday if he does participate. But once again, if he does not, then I don't think it's the end of the world. I'm not going to compare his concussion to Austin Ekeler. Austin Ekeler had a concussion and missed 1 week, but everybody's concussion is different. We've seen it happen with previous guys that have missed basically the majority of the season with concussions. So Vernon Davis, Jordan Reed, we've seen that happen before. So, like I said, I'm not going to compare what's going on with Brandon Coleman. We just don't know yet. So we'll wait and see on Friday and see what happens with that. Clelin Ferrell is on the injury report. He did not participate. Now, Clelin Ferrell, he played in the game against the Panthers. He was limited on Wednesday, and then he does not participate at all today. So we'll see what happens with his situation. Clelin Ferrell, he has missed 3 games of the season because of the knee injury. So we'll see. I mean, he's had a solid season so far. The games that he does play, he has 2 sacks. Now, I know some of the sacks are kind of like coverage sacks or him falling to a sack or whatever, but him wrapping up and tackling is something that in the beginning of the season we struggled with. So I'm not going to take anything away from the 2 sacks that he has. And we just need the defensive end depth, especially with Javonte Jean-Baptiste injured. The defensive line depth in general, with John Allen being out for the season. F.A. Obata finally came back, and I feel like somebody else. Dorrance Armstrong has been in and out of the lineup. He's limited with the rib injury, so he may be trending towards coming back. So, and I know Adam Peters has been on the phones with the Browns reportedly for Zadarius Smith, but I don't mind making that move either at all. Just because of the defensive ends, we've had guys in and out of the lineup. Dante Fowler is ascending. He's starting to dominate each game, the last couple games, so he's coming on strong. But defensive end depth, the guys that have been in and out of the lineup, it is somewhat of a concern. And then they cut Jamin Davis, who was considered a defensive end. Just talking about depth in general there. So you got to keep an eye on Dorrance and also on Cleveland. And then, of course, the main attraction, quarterback Jayden Daniels, the reason why the game was flexed to 4:05 or 4:25 this week in CBS with Jim Nantz and Tony Romo announcing the game, even though I don't care who was announcing the game. Jayden Daniels did not participate again today, which is what Dan Quinn said yesterday. He said that, we're going to try him and see if he's fully turned up. We're not going to put him out there if he's not fully turned up and can't be him. So, and then Adam Schefter tweets out that they're going to attempt to do it on Friday. So that was kind of big news to like the national media, other than the people that follow the team every day. Jayden Daniels did not participate today, but he's going to try tomorrow. So we'll see what happens. Like I said, I already think he's not. If I had to put money down, I don't think he's going to play. But who am I? I'm not a doctor. I'm not there. But like I said, I wouldn't, I'm not going to say I wouldn't rush him back or anything like that. But let's see. I know he was raising his arms for the touchdown. He was cheering. He hugged Bryce Young. I heard he was dancing with Ben Sinnott after the touchdown. So, we don't know how much discomfort, we know it's not fractured ribs, but the cartilage, there's so many things that can go. Is it bruised? Dan Quinn has not disclosed anything, and he doesn't have to. This is gamesmanship, and I think he's going to make this a game time decision, whether he's going to start Marcus Mariota. He'll probably take it until Saturday. That's what I feel like, because they didn't announce B-Rob was going to be available until like Sunday morning, or like Saturday night. So they may not make an announcement until the day of to keep the Bears on their toes. But the Bears are going to prepare for either quarterback. They're going to prepare for Jayden. They're going to prepare for this game like Jayden Daniels is going to play for sure. And then Marcus Mariota, has similar athletics. He's not as athletic as Jayden, but Marcus Mariota is an athlete. We all know that. He's been an athlete forever, since Oregon in high school for sure. We know he can run, and what he can do. He can certainly be a dual threat quarterback. We saw that against the Panthers last week too. Is at times with the Raiders, at times with the Falcons. So we know the Bears are still going to game plan for both of our guys, mainly Jayden Daniels for sure. But that's about it for the injury report. And then Tyler Biadasz, he was out there with a non-contact jersey for practice, but he did participate in practice. He was limited. So Cornelius Lucas and center Tyler Biadasz both are wearing non-contact jerseys, but they are in full uniform and practicing per John Keim. So that's good news. We need our guys up front. So basically all our starters are going to be available. And then the only guy, on the borderline really is Brandon Coleman, where we just don't know. It's up in the air. So, but all right, let's get to some of the quotes here. And yes, I do think Jayden's a dog. He's going to try to play through it, but is it in his best interest to do that? Eyes on the prize. It's a long season. If he comes back for the Giants game, I think, if he's ready for then, that's what really matters in the long run, and not to press it. That's just my thoughts on it. That's my take. So we'll see what happens with that. I know I compared him to his rib injury and Justin Herbert's rib injury and Derek Carr's, but those are all totally different injuries. We just don't know the damage that he got to his ribs. Everybody's rib injury is different. So we'll see with Jayden Daniels. We'll see. Like I said, if I had to bet money, I really feel like Marcus Mariota is going to start, but we'll see what happens. All right, let's get to some quotes here. So the Taylor Swift, that's been the thing circulating. So Commanders offensive coordinator Cliff Kingsbury said that rookie tight end Ben Sinnott's first NFL catch and touchdown last Sunday versus Carolina came on a play the team calls Taylor Swift. They also have a play called Kelsey. Cliff Kingsbury said it doesn't get better than that. Somebody asked him a silly question about the Bears job too, because he could have got the offensive coordinator job with the Bears. He was about to sign with the Raiders. I feel like they initially hired him and then he backed out of it or something like that. But I think somebody asked him about the Bears, and he basically said, I'm not going to talk about that. So he had the professional answer. Him, Cliff, and Caleb Williams, they have good chemistry. And Caleb said today that they still text each other and whatnot after the games. They congratulate each other after the game. So I know Caleb probably texted Cliff after that Bengals game when we beat the Bengals and how good of a game he called and how well that Jayden played. So I know they probably texted each other after that game too. And then Caleb finally started having some good games the last 2 weeks. So I know Cliff probably contacted Caleb after that too. So Cliff said the tight ends came up with the name, so I think he must like Taylor Swift on like a deeper level. So Ben Sinnott probably likes Taylor Swift a little bit, So and she is dating a tight end in Travis Kelce. So my thoughts was like, hey, let's not give the names of the plays away, but it is what it is. Our offense is number one in the league right now. So even if they know the name of the play, they probably still won't be able to stop it. And they have another play called Kelsey as well. So let's look at some of the quotes that I saw that stood out. Joey Jr. has some good quotes today. He talked about Dante Fowler, how well that he's playing. How well he's been playing. He said Joey Jr. also credited the fans for their energy they brought to the stadium, filtered down to the players. So that's good to see because, I remember players used to call out the fans and stuff like that. Like Josh Norman, I think he called out the fans a couple of years ago. And then Joey Jr. also said Fedarian Mathis-Phillips playing some of his best ball as of late. It might not show up on the stat sheet, but he's a big man playing big. And Fedarian Mathis playing well. I know we talk about Ron Rivera draft picks all the time. We give him a bad rap. Fedarian Mathis, he's not playing up to the second round expectation, but he's still playing really well. He's still a rotational player. He's disrupting the run here and there. He's wreaking some havoc, and he's taking up space. He's eating up space, doing what we drafted him to do. So maybe he was overdrafted, but he's balling. He's playing well, and he's getting recognition from Joe Witt Jr. as well. And then Joe did talk about Dante Fowler. He said if I tell him to run through a wall, he definitely will. He plays big and physical out there as well. So that's good to hear about Dante Fowler, who's playing really, 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 really good football right now. So I love to hear that about Dante Fowler. So that's really about it, guys. And then we'll get big news tomorrow. Tomorrow really is a big day. I mean, I think Saturday is going to be the biggest news of all. But tomorrow really, really is the big day where we're gonna see. Joey Jr. on Dante Fowler says, I probably haven't highlighted him enough coming in here. He's a very physical player. He's always going to run through people. If I tell him to run through that wall, he's going to hit it hard. So that is what Joey Jr. had to say on Dante Fowler. So we'll see what happens with that, with some of the injury reports. But I think tomorrow is a huge, huge, huge day. And then not even tomorrow, like I said, I think this may even go up until like Saturday or Sunday morning. the morning of the game until we really hear an official announcement of who is going to start at quarterback against the Bears. So, all right, you guys let me know what you guys think. As always, Health Commanders, peace.